I'm Barnaby Taylor. I'm a film and TV composer. Well, I started at the BBC actually as a researcher, obviously, and that was the moment when I thought, this is what I want to do. I suppose even then I realised that the BBC, whenever they set out to do something, they tend to try and do the best they can possibly do. They try and make it a benchmark production. And because I have so many friends who are producers, I know for a fact that these people are incredibly dedicated, and I think what that means to the music is that they tend to also want the music to be as good as it possibly can be. So in that respect, I've had great opportunities to work with orchestras, fantastic musicians. I mean, this is what, using real musicians and orchestras is kind of what I want to do. It's what I want to be doing. So in that respect, the BBC has been incredible for me. The great thing about natural history is just the variety, and also because of sometimes they're set in very specific locations, you get to go quite deeply into the music of that specific place. So whether it's China or India or Bangladesh, East Africa, in that respect it's fantastic, and I've been lucky enough to record on location in Nairobi and in Dhaka and places like that, which is a real buzz to be in a room with the real musicians. You feel like you're going to source, and then coming back with those takes and laying them against orchestra is great. I can't think of a genre where you would get to do that quite as often and really be given that free rein as well, to do that. I also like the people. I work with great producers, great directors. It'd be great. It's also great to work on documentaries and dramas and etc. But natural history is where I started, and yeah, I feel very attached to it. It means a lot to me. I think the thing that music can do for a program is essentially, especially in natural history and documentary, is it can give you very nuanced emotion over sequences that perhaps words would be incredibly clumsy if you tried to explain what was happening. I mean, a good example would be sometimes I'm given a landscape shot, absolutely beautiful landscape in Siberia or in Russia or something. But actually the story is quite sad. It's about survival, it's about loss, it's about the struggle to survive. And if you were just to plaster it with words, telling you how cold it is and what the wind chill factor is, you just switch off. It's just not an emotional... you need emotion, and I think music is the thing that gives you that emotion, and it can help you turn that little corner that perhaps words can't do. I think the advantage of using this type of library CD is that you don't only just get a single piece of music, you also get variations on the music. So you get different backgrounds, you get different melodic interpretations, you get fast themes, you get slow themes, but they all seem to feel quite coherent. So I think if you were making a film, you would feel like you almost had a soundtrack, or at least a template for some kind of soundtrack, or the beginning of a soundtrack in your hand, rather than just picking CDs off a shelf and them all being incredibly different. I think sometimes often I'm working to films that have been cut to music from all over the place, and it almost detracts from the coherence of the film, the integrity of the film. It becomes a sequence of 3-minute sequences in a sense. And I think that a library disc of music from a film or from a production that, say, I've scored or another composer scored would really add to the editing process.